9 weeks, and then 3-4 weeks more if you do extension, which I would recommend everybody do. As Carsten said last year, you're never going to regret staying longer and getting more deals. Especially once you start hitting pay bumps, it's like each deal by itself, just on the back end, is worth an extra, $250, $300. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for extension this year.
Yes, sir.
So I start planning for that now. Today, guys, what I want to train a bit on is contextualizing the pitch. And before I even say anything, so Ronnie's thought real good. Keep it simple. I'm going to teach you guys a few ways you can customize your pitch to different neighborhoods, houses. But that's one thing I want you to keep in mind this whole training. Keep it simple. If you start making it this convoluted, complicated thing, that's not what I'm training on. I'm training on not making it more complicated, but just tailoring it, hand tailoring it to different neighborhoods and houses, right? So, contextualizing. This is such a long word to write up. The pitch.
It's like Indiana Jones.
Okay. Contextualizing the pitch. So, the advertising pitch, when you speak it well, can be totally effective. You can sling doing that. A lot of times, though, it can help you to get a bit more traction if you can figure out a way to kind of customize it to the people you're speaking to in their house. And so, a couple examples. These are all fundamentally the advertising pitch, guys. It's still about advertising. It's just coming at it from different angles to make it make more sense. So, a big one is model homes. So I use this a lot. Mikey, I learned it from Mikey. And so what we're doing with model homes is that we're taking something from that person's house, and we're like going, hey, that's beautiful, and we're looking for houses like yours to represent us, right? And so Johnny, do you want to be like my customer? I'm gonna talk here for a sec. You're just super friendly. It's not an objection training thing, so you're just like the most lay down customer of all time. Like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, nice to meet you.
Oh, ADT?
Yeah.
Oh, I love ADT.
Yeah, no, that's good. Man, that's a lay down. The reason I wanted to stop by, I love your prickly pear out here, man. This is awesome. Yeah, I'm from Australia originally. We don't have any of this stuff there. Is this a pretty recent development?
It's been developed over like 2 years.
Okay,
but the wife
cutting
family does it.
Right. Okay, well this is a really beautiful garden. You guys' house is really nice. You obviously do a lot of. Do you guys do a lot of remodeling?
Not a ton, but
okay.
Here and there.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
And so my job, I scout out model homes for ADT, and so we look for houses like yours that are super nice, really well kept. Your yard looks like a golf course. What we want to do, we want to get that sign out in the yard so the neighbors see it when they drive by. They see all the nice houses use ADT, ADT, ADT. It's really good branding for us. So when you help us with that, we'll go ahead and we'll pay for a camera in the house. We'll pay for all your upfronts. We'll put it in for $0. We'll give you a Cadillac. So, does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, sound good. Okay, cool. So that's kind of like, you're kind of like, it's a bit of flattery, right? You're appealing to the person's ego a little bit. You're like, hey, your house is beautiful. I love this fresh coat of paint. Did a model home pitch the other day. Hey, your house, it looks like chocolate. It's like totally brown. Like, I love it. She's like, I hate it. It looks like poo-poo. And I'm like, no, I think it's great. So, Kyle, did you have something?
I was just going to add something, but keep going.
Yeah. So that's just one you can use. And so, yeah, you're setting up model homes. It's like, my job is to look for the beautiful houses in the neighborhood, and then you find something beautiful about their house that you like. Another one is bandwagon. So it's kind of like,
It's a very big close.
yeah, and so like a good example I had a couple weeks ago is like, guy came out, he's next to me on the porch, already built a bit of rapport, and I was like, hey, reason I stopped by, your neighbors Jack, Jerry, and Fred, they all have ADT. You can see the signs, right? ADT, ADT, ADT. We're just trying to push Vivint out of the neighborhood. You've seen Vivint, like
they've come by too.
Yeah.
I hated them.
Yeah, we're not super fans either. And so what we can do, we just want to get all the ADT signs out on the street so your neighbors see us when they drive down instead of Vivint. So if you don't tell the neighbors, if you help us with that, just like we've done for everyone else, it's kind of a bandwagon deal. We'll go ahead and just cover all the upfronts for you. Just don't tell them.
Yeah.
So, okay, perfect. So you're kind of like appealing that, hey, everyone else is doing this. Everybody else is doing this. And if you can literally point to neighbors across the street that have the sign, that's really money. That's when that pitch is going to be most effective for
You can
you.
build urgency with that too.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, a lot of people get insecurity out
Yeah.
here for one reason or another.
Yeah.
We know you guys are probably going to get it too, so while we're
Yeah.
out here, we'll just take care of you.
Yeah, exactly.
What I did in my hood last week, because there was like at least 30 houses with Vivint in my hood. But anyway, I just wrote down everybody who got Vivint ADT in my neighborhood on the list. And
Yeah.
I said, hey, these are all of your neighbors that got security within the past 6 months. Do you know any of them? And then they just see like a bunch of names, whether they know them or not. If they know them, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know them, it's like, these are all the people who've gotten security, and it's like, everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
So what we're doing is paying for a couple more homes while we're here.
yeah. Guys, that is,
That's why Kyle's a top performer.
yeah, I was going to say that is so big brain, Kyle. That is the kind of detective work that gets you a 10-week, a 15-week, that kind of legwork. And a lot of this kind of customizing the pitch, contextualizing it, you need to research your neighborhood a bit, and then you need to incorporate that information into the pitch. And so, segueing into that, the neighborhood I was in last week and this week, it's super cool. So it's Truman Historical District. There's an insane amount of history in this neighborhood because Harry Truman, the U.S. president, grew up here, and a lot of stuff like he worked at just places in the area, and it's really cool. And so working that into my pitch, knowing how much history is in the neighborhood all week, I was like, hey, are you the boss of the house?
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. Okay, we're doing something really exciting this week.
Okay.
We've been partnering with historical homes, so we're looking for houses that are at least 70 years old in the area.
Okay, yeah.
Is that you guys?
I think
71,
69.
69? Okay, you don't qualify. Nah.
So we can round up. We can round up.
Oh yeah, so
70, yeah.
okay, you guys. Oh, you're 70. Okay,
Yeah.
hey, that's perfect. What we're doing, just for a couple of historical homes, we want it so that when your neighbors drive down the street, they see all these nice historical houses use ADT, ADT, ADT. So when you guys help us with that, we'll go ahead and we'll cover all your. So people really like that because you're showing your knowledge of the area, you're incorporating in this knowledge, and then you're asking them a question, right? How did you feel when I asked you that question, Johnny? How long have you guys been in the neighborhood? How long is your house? How old is your house?
It makes me think that you care about how old the house is.
Right.
You care about me.
Yeah, I do.
It's less threatening. too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like if you're asking about the house, it's less threatening than like, oh, well, how long have you lived at this address for?
Yeah.
Or it's like,
Yeah, exactly. And
that's none of your business.
And so the reason I think that pitch worked pretty well for me this week is because it's really engaging too. You're kind of inviting them to participate with you, and so I wasn't really getting shooed off the porch that much because everyone was interested. Like, oh yeah, my house is about 93 years old. Oh, perfect. Okay, you guys are overqualified then.
Makes you feel important.
Makes you feel important. You're special. When the reality is like 70% of people in the neighborhood have houses that are older than 70 years old.
And then also, if you're knocking on like, if it's a police officer, a firefighter, military, like retired military nurse,
Yep.
you can use all of those. Be like, hey, you're kind of like a, people look up to you in the neighborhood here, like they know you're a police officer. When they see somebody like you getting ADT, when they go to get cameras or security, obviously they're gonna see what you have first because people look up to you and or whatever you want to say, but like you can use those as a reason.
Yeah.
Because I've signed up plenty of cops.
Yeah.
And like I always use that whenever I see the cop car, or they're like, "Oh, I'm a cop." Oh, perfect.
They are.
We'll actually pay for it, so that way.
Yeah. That is perfect.
And you tell them, "Oh, we'll even get you a discount for being that too." So it's like cherry on top.
It's like the whole reason you're there.
Yeah.
Hey, I care about security. Your neighbors want security. They're gonna look to you as the pivot point for security in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's why we're getting paid for everything for you. Doesn't that make sense? So really the goal of all this, guys, really the end goal here is to make it make as much sense as possible. So you can make it make sense with just the sign. Hey, we're paying a couple people on the street to advertise. You can make that make sense, but it can be easier for you and the customer to understand, for it to make sense when, so like one that makes a ton of sense that I always like is Busy Road. You guys ever worked on knocked on a main road where they literally have like 3,000 cars a day driving past your house?
Yeah.
You have that, Grady?
Yeah.
On a pitch and it's just loud.
Loud.
Yeah.
And you can even during the pitch, you can be like, oh man, it's so crazy busy. And they're like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. What we want to do, we want to get a sign out in your yard like a billboard. So all these people driving past your house, they see it every day. If you had to guess, how many people drive past your house each day?
I don't know. A lot.
Like 2,000, right? So we know 2,000 people are there going to see it. So when you guys help us with that side of the yard, we'll go ahead and we'll pay for all the upfronts for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, sign in here. What's your credit card? And so I use this one a lot, guys, whenever it's like a busy main road. Corner home is another good one. It's like, hey, everyone in the neighborhood drives past your house.
Especially if there's a stop sign there. Hey, they're gonna stop here like 3 seconds every day, times that by a week, come by 2-3 times.
Exactly.
Just looking at your house.
So if you want to do some insane math, and for people that just have nothing going on, like how crazy the actual advertising pitch is, do y'all want to know the average amount of smart devices in a home?
6.
1.
It's 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that include phones?
It's probably like TVs.
But, yeah, it's TVs, phones, all this, that, and the other, but we'll just say 6 when it comes to phones and iPads, right? So we'll say 6. But the average times a day that we check a phone is 96 times a day. That's on average. Some of y'all are a lot more than that in a few hours. Okay, so times 96. So between 6 phones in a home, 20 or 96 times a day, there's 576 times a day that there's the likelihood that you'll show somebody your ADT app.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then if you times that by 7, there's 4,032 times a week that somebody has an opportunity to show somebody an alarm system.
Yeah.
And so, oh yeah, look, I just got my package. Look how cool that is. Hey, get away. Like when you're at somebody's house that literally just a cookie cutter neighborhood, and there's nothing special about them. They live in the smack middle of it.
I get notifications from my Google cameras on my smartwatch probably about like 30 times a day. Frequent check it. And I'll be with a customer, like just see what's going on. I'll show them.
20 in a hole.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why it's really good to master that kind of core pitch, just the classic advertising pitch, is because sometimes you will have those houses, guys, that you're in the middle of the street. Hey, stop fighting during my training. Stop fighting during my training. You will get those boring houses, boring people, boring street, boring neighborhood. You haven't been able to get much information, so it's like, how am I going to sell these people? And then in those situations, being able to explain the advertising pitch really well is going to be kind of the thing that carries you through. But wherever possible, guys, this is where the detective work comes in, where you're tailoring the pitch. So another one is, this one just makes a heck of a lot of sense. New developments. Okay.
For sales signs
Yep.
as well.
Who's been in an area where half the houses are still being built? Who's been in an area like that? Yeah, right? And so, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Cooper. What's your name?
I'm Johnny.
Johnny. Okay, good to meet you, Johnny. Johnny, the reason we're out here, I'm sure you've noticed that your street kind of just ends here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in about 3 years from now, there's going to be a ton of families that are moving in. That's why we're out here. My job, I'm in charge of these signs. We want to get this out so when all these new people move in, they see ADT, ADT, ADT is already the thing that all their neighbors in the neighborhood use. Who do you think they're going to call when they need security?
Probably.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's why we're just getting a couple people in the neighborhood to get the sign out. So just grab that, put that out for us, and we'll go ahead and cover all the upfronts for you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you're kind of, and it makes a lot of sense, guys, because like they know that
Even there, like you can flesh out the advertising. Like, hey, the reason we're paying for it, we used to do commercials. People move in, they want to take security off the honeydew because they know no neighbors.
Yep.
What do you think the best way of advertising is? And let them answer. And then eventually you'll like list them off like newspaper, billboards, flyer. What about word of mouth? Like, yeah, word of mouth. Like, yeah, exactly. So your house is a great way of generating word of mouth. And then they're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. And so that's one that's really good when you're in new development.
Bandwagon is the money there.
Yeah.
It's bandwagon.
About 2.
And you can be like super. Hey, I am doing all of the alarm systems in the neighborhood at the moment. Like I am the ADT guy. Hey, I'm just working with so and so. I'm doing all the alarm systems around here. You guys probably know them, right? Cool. Yeah, and then just start signing. But you can do that if you got a lot of deals, you know.
They probably told you I was stopping by. What? They haven't told you?
But they told the neighbors you had the alarms with them.
I'm the guy that does
So
it.
you guys are the next guys I'm chatting with. Just get to it.
Another good one that Brady mentioned is, T-homes, which is very similar to corner homes. It's like, hey, everybody driving past your house. Everybody's seeing your house every day. You know, what house do you think people notice the most when they come into the neighborhood first? Oh, mine. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're going to pay you to get a sign out. So that one is good, just like corner homes. And then opposite, a special building. So, you know, if people live right next to a church or a Chick-fil-A or a school, you know, throughout the week they probably have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people coming and going past their house. Hey, we want to get this sign out because we know all the parents, when they pick their kids up from school, they're going to see that sign. And so when you help us with that, we'll pay you some cameras. And so,
development in the area too.
Development in the area. So like
7, I went knocking in a place. You remember when we went through in the morning?
Yeah.
And like, the neighbors had told me about this basically road development on North Oak Road that was like kind of a main road, but they were kind of cutting it in half, which meant all of the side traffic was going to come through the neighborhood. And I said, hey, yeah, with the development up on North Oak, there's going to be a lot more foot traffic coming through here, so advertising. And everyone's like, oh yeah, and like, yeah, credibility through the roof with everyone. So.
Yeah. Last one I'll give you, and then if we have time, maybe I'll get you guys to practice some of these, depending on how much time we have.
You'll probably roll after you're done.
Okay. Another good one is just, if you've noticed that there is a ton of Vivint in the neighborhood or a ton of particular security company, you can just go, hey, we're pushing competitors out. You know, we're just Vivint out, blah, blah, blah. You know, we want to get some traction, like we want to push them out because they're a competitor. And so we're paying 2 people on the street to get the sign out so you're able to see us and not Vivint. So when you help us with that, we'll pay for a couple cameras. And so that's one I'll use from time to time if I can see there's a particular company that's dominant. But you guys should probably make a list of these somewhere, but you guys, if you're doing your detective work, you'll start coming up with your own stuff. That's probably going to be a lot more effective because it'll be tailored to that neighborhood. And so like these are just a couple ideas. If you guys aren't tailoring the pitch at all,
4th of July special too.
4th of July, oh yeah, that's another one, holidays. Yeah, holidays.
Everyone's coming over for barbecues tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tell them it's the HBO special.
HBO special.
Help a brother out, it's hot as shit out here.
Help a brother out. Help a brother out special, yeah. And so, so like you guys don't need to copy and paste these, but like take note of these and then figure out like, you know, the hood you're in this week, you know, doing my research, talking to different people, how can I kind of mix this into my pitch? And so, that's about it. Kind of a straightforward training. Do you guys have any questions?
Also mailboxes. The community mailbox. The book donations, all that stuff, man. It's like, or the dumpster. Like it just everything is about it. The neighborhood dumpster. Some of those neighborhoods have those.
Yeah.
Good training.
Yeah.
Can you do a quick 4th of July pitch, just like a simple one?
I mean, Nate's one was pretty good. Do you want to just say it a bit loud, Nate?
Yeah, everyone's going to be coming over for barbecue, so we're getting those signs out. Press the doorbell when they come over for the barbecue. Ask questions.
Yeah. The goal of this is really to take that advertising pitch and make it make more sense. And so it's not to overcomplicate it, just like Ronnie's thought I said at the beginning. Keep it simple, guys. If you're going into a 20-minute monologue, you've kind of missed the point. And the thing that'll make a lot of these more effective, again, is that asking those questions. Like, hey, we're looking for historical homes. Is your house at least 70 years old? You know, have you guys, mobile homes, have you guys done much remodeling lately? Service recognition, like were you, I don't know, Army, Navy, or Air Force? And how many cars a day do you get going past your house, you know, mind me asking? And so kind of having this tailored pitch, and then you start roping them in with questions around that is going to be really engaging. Yeah, see that.
I was going to say, obviously, too, crime. Like, if you're here in Chick Hood.
Crime. Yeah.
Generally, I'm here because all the crime, like.
Yeah. That's one more I'll add. Just all the craziness.
All the craziness.
You've got to be, you got to be a little tactful with that sometimes, guys.
All the nonsense going on.
You got to be tactful with that.
Just start getting ready to roll out.
Yeah, sure. But that's about it. So yeah, practice those. It'll get you a lot further than just a stock copy and paste pitch.
Let's go, Coopers. Good training. Right. So I'm just gonna grab some names real quick. Then who's got the prayer? Johnny's got the prayer.
Johnny.
So on Wednesday morning, all this morning I've been on the phone with pest control companies, getting quotes about helping one of my customers out. They wanted to charge me a wazoo to do the thing, so I said, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it myself. These guys are super cool, knocked them on Saturday. This disabled guy came and answered the door, and he was beyond sweet, wanted to give me a Mountain Dew within 15 seconds of chatting with him. Had like vision impairment, hearing impairment, slurred speech, but he was like the most hospitable, sweetest guy I've met in a long time. And then his brother was taking care of him, fell off his truck at work, busted up his back, and so they just are living in a house where there's like a lot of spider webs, it's hard for them to clean. They got some bug problems, and like they're really self-aware about it, but like the brother is disabled, and the other brother, who's fully cognizant, it just struggles to get around. So I wanted to go down on Wednesday and just drive down there early, and I'm going to go to Lowe's probably tomorrow and just pick up like some stuff, clean some webs and some white wool erasers and some buckets, and go and clean them and just like spray the area and help them out. And yeah, if we can get a bunch of people, many hands make light work. So if people want to come down and help, yeah, put up your hands and I'll write you down, and we'll sort out some Seb, Chase, Johnny, Coops. Yeah, Coops, Wednesday morning, Colin, Zach. Alright, sweet. I'm going to post it out right now and then just like it so that I can look back on it. And I'll just post out the message in the group me right now, and I'll say like act of kindness. And we'll go down there, act of kindness. And then yeah, just heart that if you want to come down. I'll sort out some times and some vehicles and stuff, and we'll take some vans down. Probably just go down there for 90 minutes, I think. Because if we have like 12 people, we should be able to like just clean the floors, windows, help out with some bugs, that kind of thing, clean it up, and I know that'll go a long way. I might even see if we can get some groceries for him or something. But yeah, Johnny, do you want to pray?
Yeah.
And then we'll roll out.
Alright, let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for another great day to knock. It's Monday, so help us start off on the right track and work our hardest. And Father, help us to put down numbers during this competition and really push each other to do the best that we can and do it all for your glory. In your name, amen.
Amen. Alright, don't leave any trash.